Hello everyone and welcome to week 3. As you can see, we still have our same essential question: how can technology be used most effectively to support and assess student learning? As you complete your assignments and projects throughout this semester, you will be completing various assignments that will focus on that question. However, I would like for you to just continue to think about, as you're going through your readings and you're reading about different types of technology or project-based learning, think about what you can do to support, or how the technology can be used to further support student learning. Your projects will have you create different types of complete different types of projects using technology that will either support students' learning or be used to assess students' learning. So as far as instructions for this week, you have to do another Intel module, which is going to be module 2. And make sure you pay close attention in this module here, because it's going to be talking about developing your curriculum framing questions. And this information is going to be important because you will need to update your unit plan. Module 1 contains your action plan, and after you finish here, you're going to go back and complete the overview section of your action plan and put your and include your standards, objectives, and curriculum framing questions. As I said, make sure you pay close attention to your curriculum framing questions. You can either right click on here on the link, or on a Mac I think it's control and click to get the right click option, or either options and click, but I believe it is control and left and click on your mouse in order to get the same options to open. But I'm going to right click on it and open it in a new tab, because sometimes if you just click on the link, Blackboard doesn't open it properly. And remember, when you go to the Intel site, just hit next to skip through the introductory part, and make sure you click on menu, and then you can go straight to module 2. And as you can see here, it talks about the 21st century learning skills, also questions that frame learning, and that's where you're going to go through. And as you're going through, you might want to just go ahead and open up your action plan from, I think it was in week 2, your action plan that you downloaded, not from Intel, but the one that I provided for you inside of Blackboard. And as you're going through, you might go ahead and either write down possible curriculum framing questions for your unit that you might be using. The next part in week 3, it's a little bit more information. As I said, you got another document. Make sure you click on it to read about 21st century skills. The brainstorming questions, I'm going to go ahead and click on that and open it for you. Here's a list of sample essential questions, because you're going to be creating essential questions, then you're going to create unit questions and content questions to guide your unit plan. For example, essential questions are extremely broad. Here's an example. Says, what does it take to change the world? What is essential for life? Is math more than numbers? Am I healthy? So if you are writing your questions, you can look at those for examples. Here is the document for tips for writing curriculum framing questions. And as you look at this document, it gives you tips for your essential questions, gives you tips for your unit questions, and give you tips for your content questions. As I said, your essential questions are like big concepts. What do you want your students to remember in 5 years? It's going to be an open-ended questions. It says, how might you make the content in your curriculum personally meaningful for students? How does this subject matter affect their lives? So as you can see, they're pretty broad concepts that you're going to be pointing out there, and I've already read some of the examples for you. The second one says tips for unit questions. It says, why is the content in this unit important? Why do students care about this? What is the value of studying this? It's going to be a little bit more specific now. It says, what open-ended questions have your previous students ask or wondered about when they went through this unit? So those are some things that they're getting a little bit more specific. And And as you can see here with the brainstorming questions, are rainforests worth saving? So it's open-ended questions. But if you look at the content questions, they're a lot more specific. They have specific answers that can be given to them. So for example, what is a rainforest? You can have a definition for a rainforest. What lives in a rainforest? Where are rainforests located? So you all have specific answers for them. But if you look at the unit questions, am I really growing like a weed? How do you grow a big strong beanstalk to reach the giant's house? What can music teach us about history? How does music inspire people today? And then if you look over here, it's another one. How is ancient Egypt still with us today? How do our lives change with the seasons? So for example, with the one, how do our lives change with the seasons? Over here for a content question, you might ask, what is a season? What are the 4 seasons of the year? What impact do seasons have on farming? But as you can see, the content is extremely specific. It has a direct answer that will be gained by students through the content presented in your unit plan. And I'm going to go back now to the other information. Also, make sure you watch the module 2. It's also associated with developing those 21st century skills and curriculum framing questions and the curriculum framing PowerPoint, because that information is going to be extremely helpful with you going through to complete your objectives and your curriculum framing questions. What I'm going to do is just open the PowerPoint briefly right now, and after I open the PowerPoint, then I'm going to just show you some of the information that is in the ALEX for us opening up your finding your standards. So if you look here, here's the PowerPoint presentation. And it's basically talking about developing your unit questions. And as you can see here, instead of just reading it for you, I just want to make sure you open it, because before you do your questions, just make sure you go through the content. It says unit questions are open-ended questions that tie directly to a project or unit, pose a reasonable challenge, and it's explaining it to you a little bit more. For example here, this one is explaining the essential questions a little bit more for you. So just make sure you go through those the PowerPoint presentation also. And now the last thing, here's your course of studies. This is where you're going to get your standards from. The state has a site called ALEX. You can always get to it if you Google ALEX. It'll be the first link that comes up. But in the course of study provides all the objectives for Alabama students. This is what the state's standards say that students should know in this grade level by the time they graduate or pass through a grade. So for example, if I want to pick something, I got physical education, technology education, driving, traffic safety, health education, but your unit is going to be based on this information. So I have right here, I have physical education, I have technology education, arts education, mathematics. So I'm just going to pick on one in, I guess, social studies. And for social studies, we have world history 1500 to the present, and then you also have your grades that you can pick. So I'm just going to pick 5th grade. And as you can see, this is social studies, comes from 2004. That's when the last time it was updated. 5th grade right here. And as you can see, this is the standard. It says locate physical features that impacted the exploration of settlement of the Americas. And for some of the standards, it breaks it down a little bit more and give you examples. But the good part about ALEX is that if you click on the lesson plans here, as you can see, lesson plans and web resources, some of them will have web resources, some of them will not. I'm going down to standard 4 now, and as you can see, it has 22 lesson plans that current teachers have submitted, and they've been approved as good lesson plans or qualified lessons for teachers to teach. And if you click on those, it gives you different lessons but that address that standard. So I'm just going to click one of them, and as you can see, it gives you your title, the overview, the content standards that are used, the national standards, the learning objectives, materials. Basically gives you the whole lesson plan, gives you the activities, time extensions, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it gives you how to deal with inappropriate behavior from students and reluctant students, and also tells you how you could use groups in there. I don't have a problem with you using Alex lessons because that's what you're going to do in real life. So you can use those lessons to support your unit plan that you're going to be using, developing. And you might have the question, where's all this stuff going to go? Remember, you have your action plan that was provided in Module 1. As you're going through the Intel modules, disregard their action plan activities. The only action plan you're going to be updating is the one we provided for you. I provided for you, which is a lot shorter. And the other thing you have to do this assignment is the Cool 2 presentation. And if you click on the folder, this if we provided instructions on how to sign up for the Cool 2. Most of you have already done that. Here's the description of the assignment. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to go to the wiki and sign up for a particular Web 2.0 tool, and you're going to go to that website and you're going to create a screen capture. And basically a screen capture is what I'm doing now. I'm recording my screen, I'm recording my voice as I talk about the different types of technology. But what you're going to do is you're going to record yourself talking about the cool tool that you think is important or good. And I want you to make sure that you click here and go look at the two different cool tools. You do have two options. The simplest option is once you download Jing and create your presentation, you can save it as save it into a directory or file folder and give it a name and save it as a flash file. You can then upload that flash file to Blackboard as an assignment and to the discussion board. That's the easiest way to do it. The other option is that you can get your video and save it and then upload it to screencast. And as you record your video with Jing, it will give you that option to upload the screencast. Or either you can save the video and then upload it to YouTube and put the code, provide the link to YouTube within discussion board in the assignment submission box. But this is, make sure you click on the links to see how to install Jing. Here's the link so that you can download Jing. And as I said, Jing is free. It's a free screen capturing software. You can set it up so that you can take a picture of your screen or video capturing, which means that it's capturing all of the changes, for example, the movements on the mouse, just as I'm doing now. If you have any questions, please let me know for week 3. As I said, make sure you go through and look at the content provided. If you have questions, email me. I will respond to you. We can set up a Skype conference. I look forward to seeing your Cool 2 presentations. And if you have any questions, please email me. Thanks.